I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Alright, Disney's Robin Hood. Like every good movie, it starts with a the rooster is singing, and then curveball, they do the closing credits first, and we get the whistling song. Now, I've been watching so many Disney movies that I can't. This song, I'm sorry if this is the soundtrack to your childhood, but I can't. My TV speakers can't handle the whistling song. It's all distorted. The rooster says he's menstrual, but I'm pretty sure I meant to type minstrel. Thanks, spell check. We have a montage of the epic song about Robin Hood and Little John. They start having a weird are we good guys or bad guys conversation that has like a Pulp Fiction feel to it. A parade goes by, and it's the king and his snake sidekick, and they're counting their tax money. The king has mummy issues. I guess this is funny. He talks about his mom liking his brother better and starts tugging his ear and sucking his thumb. A lot of these characters kind of look recycled from the Jungle Book, although I don't know which one came first. Robin Hood and Big John dress in drag. I'm interested. They pull off a Scooby-Doo hoax, pretend to be fortune tellers, and pretend to read the king's fortune while they steal his gold and jewels. The king realizes it too late, and calamity ensues with his army of bumbling rhinos running over the king while they chase the outlaws. We meet Friar Tuck, quote, the do-gooder out doing good again. Great dialogue. We meet the sheriff. He comes for his taxes. He's very passive-aggressive and finds coins hidden in someone's leg cast. I'm confused. Who's the bad guy here? The sheriff for wanting his legit taxes, or the guy who's pretending he doesn't have money to pay taxes but actually does because it's hidden in his leg cast? The sheriff even takes one coin from the child bunny. He has no heart. He even steals money from a blind old man, but the blind old man tears off his disguise, and it's Gene Parmesan from Arrested Development. Ah! No, it's Robin Hood. Quote, he's as handsome as his wanted poster. That's really funny. The kids shoot an arrow into Prince John's backyard like their ball going over the fence, and they want it back. They make Terrence the tattling turtle promise he won't tattle. Inside the castle walls, we meet Maid Marian, who looks like Robin Hood's sister, and a lot of these old Disney movies, there is so much treading water in the first half. Nothing is happening in this movie. Marian longs for Robin Hood. We go back to Robin Hood, who longs for Marian. Okay, so tomorrow there's an archery contest, and the winner receives a kiss from Maid Marian, which is not cool by today's standards. So you think about Marian being the prize in a kissing contest. Now think about Moana. Complaining about Disney portrayals of women is an unoriginal trope, but I invite you to really watch how their female leads evolve over the decades. I'd argue Disney changed with the times pretty darn well in that aspect. Like, sure, Marian is an actual prize for a man who wins a contest, but like 40 years later, Rapunzel is knocking suckers out with a frying pan. So yeah, women have come a long way in Disney, and honestly, that should be applauded. Robin Hood is gonna enter the contest risking getting jail time and execution just for a kiss, so you know, it's not exactly a flattering male depiction either. After a long predictable scene, Robin Hood wins, then is outed and captured and sent to be executed. The executioner rhino is pretty badass. Baloo secretly stabs the king and tells him to release Robin Hood. He does, and a sword fight ensues. Robin escapes with Marian. Robin is the man. He's paying half attention to the sword fight while making romantic plans with Marian. This is some Army of Darkness territory. There's a vulture selling pies. We once again dip into Scooby-Doo territory where a horde of rhinos get a tent thrown over them, but they continue charging as a collective group and wipe out the castle and everything else. Disney is at their best when stories are storyline driven with characters who struggle, and that's actually true for any storytelling, to be honest. But we have Robin Hood, who can effortlessly dispatch an entire army without paying attention and being all sarcastic about it. So am I to believe he's going to be in danger next time? Like, classic montage of Robin and Marian in love, pond reflections, night walks through the forest, fireflies, waterfalls, all of it. Something happened. There's a midnight party where Little John sings about Robin Hood stealing Prince John's underwear. Elsewhere, the sheriff and Hiss begin singing the same song, and King John hears and loses it. They tell the townspeople they heard him singing it, so everyone has to pay double taxes. If you couldn't pay, you went to jail. Narrating Rooster ends up in jail, which is pretty funny. One would assume a minstrel makes a lot of cash and could pay his taxes. The entire Bunny family is also in jail. All 10 kids are in jail as well. That's supposed to be sad, I'm guessing, but sorry, Disney. A few days ago, I rewatched The Rescuers, and the kidnappers stick a little girl down a hole in the ground to try to drown her, so this is not sad. Children in Jail is comedy compared to that animated nightmare. Sheriff comes to the church and takes the last coin from Friar Tuck, who then sword fights with him with his cane until he also ends up in jail. This is starting to look like HBO's Oz. Then my mind drifts to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. That Bryan Adams song was huge. And then I love Christian Slater. Where did he go? What happened to summer blockbusters that had hit songs? Where did that go? Every summer there was an action movie that either had a hit song on the soundtrack or a Happy Meal toy line. How does anyone know what movies are good these days without those things? Those days are gone. They're never coming back. Hey, Robin Hood Men in Tights. I remember that too now. That was like the first of the parody movies that would eventually plague the 2000s. And anyway, with Friar Tuck in jail, King John knows Robin Hood will stage a jailbreak, so he plans a trap and we fade to black. Sheriff is getting the noose ready. Bleak. Robin Hood is back as his blind beggar costume. They plan to hang Friar to flush out Robin Hood. The one guard yells, 1 o'clock and all is well. Cut to a giant clock. It's 3 o'clock. Seriously. Robin Hood now puts a sock on his nose and pretends to be a vulture guard. Master of disguise indeed. He convinces the sheriff to go to sleep in a chair. And Robin Hood starts undoing his pants, and I'm suddenly interested again, but Robin Hood just pulls off the sheriff's belt with the jail keys. Little John busts out Friar Tuck and the Rabbit family. I hope he leaves that singing rooster behind. Robin Hood scales the side of the castle. This part is pretty good. Things are picking up. You can tell this is building for an epic showdown. He slips into Prince John's bedroom. John is sleeping, cuddling a bag of money. Hiss is sleeping in a baby basket at his feet, which is kind of funny. Robin and John make a pulley system with arrows and rope and start sending down all the bags of money. I'm starting to get into this movie. Like, see action and consequences. Everyone is released and given bags of money. Robin steals the last bag of money, but Hiss wakes up. Sweet James Bondish music kicks in. Guards are shooting arrows at Hood. There's chaos. This is getting really good. Robin leads the charges. Everyone runs from a rain of arrows. Everyone is loaded into a makeshift rickshaw that Big John runs with. They forget a baby rabbit. Hood goes back and saves it, but the exit is now blocked. He passes the kid through the gate and is trapped and alone in the castle. It took a long time, but this movie is getting great. The castle is on fire and he's fighting the sheriff amidst the flames. This is getting fantastic. He leaps from the window and lands in the moat. Everyone is watching to see if he made it alive. His hat with an arrow floats to the surface, and we have our Disney end of the third act. Death scare. Check that box. Oh, a snorkel appears. He's not dead. That had me. I thought he was dead. I thought Robin Hood was dead. Prince John turns his attention to Hiss and tries to kill him with a board while the castle burns. Well, that perfectly wraps it all up. The singing cock tells us the real King Richard returned and Prince John and his men are a chain gang. Robin and Marian marry, and they revisit the joke, he looks like I have an outlaw for an in-law. Blood from a stone, folks. Hood marries Marian, and I have to say Marian is an absolute fox. He leaves us with, well, folks, that's the way it really happened, making me think it was all made up. No credits at all, because the end credits were at the beginning. So did that not happen? That was Robin Hood, huh? Okay, all these old Disney movies seem like they wrote the third act first, then worked backwards. Anyway, okay, end with something profound, something profound. For the first 2/3 of the movie, they should have stolen from the rich back catalog of Robin Hood and gave to the poor script writing choices that plagued the first half. Come see, come saw.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long.